what would you say are some of the biggest challenges you think recruitment technology is solving? Like any recent ones that you've like discovered along your journey?
I mean, yeah, that is it's a good question. It's a difficult question to answer, just because there seems to be a new tool for every that exists out there right now. You know, there are industry specific challenges, there are process specific challenges, there are regional challenges. And when you think about the different, the different areas of recruitment, you know, you've got job marketing, you've got remote interviewing, screening, assessments, reference checking, onboarding, D&I, AI and automation. There are problems that exist, some very niche problems that exist within, you know, you might find a solution provider out there that will provide you with programmatic advertising of specific vacancies in a specific industry sector. You know, someone has identified a specific problem. And I think because there are so many solution providers out there now, they're all trying to do what they can to stand out and make themselves attractive to somebody that might get value from their product. And because, you know, you can look at, I don't know, you could pick any one of those. Actually, you know, Equitas is a great example. The category for me of remote interviewing, and actually we call it remote interviewing instead of video interviewing because of Equitas, right? We're within our platform. So, you know, you could say video interviewing is, I mean, there are dozens and dozens of solution providers out there that provide a solution for organizations that want to video interview candidates. And then you've got organizations like Equitas that are doing things a bit differently and solving a problem in a different way. And I think, you know, that's where it's very difficult to, you know, it's like really difficult to identify a specific solution that's kind of bucking the trend, because I think there are so many out there and they're all doing their own thing and trying to stand out.
Of course. And I think in the recruitment technology industry, I think there's always new problems popping up, like new pain points. Someone will discover a new pain point and be like, okay, where is another solution to solve this? And then before you know it, there's so much diverse range of technology just solving the nitty-gritty problems.
It's incredible.
Yeah, that's great. Another interesting question. So what I no need to answer this question, but like I feel like it is one that I'm quite interested in. It's like any innovations in the sort of recruitment technology that you've seen that's kind of like grabbed your attention that you think like would be interesting to share to people?
Definitely. Well, I think another good question. I've got to think about this for a second. I would say this probably isn't a recruitment software specific innovation, but it's a software specific innovation. And I think it's something that all of the recruitment technology providers out there right now are focusing on, and that's integration. For me, and I guess this kind of goes back to the problem that we were talking about a moment ago with so many solution providers out there. You know, back in the day, if you look at some of the early ATS providers, they would be listening to their customers and their customers would come up with another problem, and it would be really down to the ATS provider to diversify their product and solve that specific problem. And nowadays that doesn't happen so much. Solution providers nowadays are a bit more rigid and inflexible in the way that they approach this, and they take more of a best practice approach to developing software, and they keep it slightly more generalist and less niche. And that doesn't count for, I mean, there definitely are still a number of solution providers out there that have been in the industry for a lot longer that don't work in this way, but most of the newer ATSs that are popping into the industry are more rigid in the way that they develop their product, and they rely more on integration to solve those very niche problems. And there are tools out there, and this one's probably grabbed my attention the most over the last year or so, is organizations like Zapier, where you're able to very, very quickly integrate. I think they've got something like 5,000 apps connected to Zapier right now, and there's a load of recruitment technology solution providers in there. So a load of ATSs will be thinking, you know, how do we integrate with the likes of Equitas, or how do we provide a range of different solutions within our platform that leverage all of the great technology that's been developed out there to solve very specific problems. And organizations like Zapier are really creating the answer, because you're able to say, for example, when this thing happens in my ATS, when this particular trigger occurs, do this in, I don't know if you guys are actually integrated to Zapier yet, but let's say you were, it would be, you know, somebody's moved a candidate from one status to another. Now we're going to do something in Equitas, and all of that happens in the background using those APIs that are connected through Zapier, and it's really smart.
Yeah, I guess that's the way forward for technology. Yeah, that's amazing. So one really good question I want to get into is so like obviously we all know the whole reason rectec exists, you know, to help, you know, buyers find the right recruitment technology. And like, what advice would you give? And this is really useful because I want to hear some of your wisdom. Like, what advice would you give to like buyers if they were right at the start of their journey and like, you know, trying to figure out what recruitment tech out there in 2022 is right for them?
Well, I mean, other than use our platform, look, for me, it's all about reviewing your requirements. I think I mentioned this earlier, but you're not going to know what you're looking for until you know what you need. So really take the time to think about what your recruitment process looks like today, who's involved in it, where are the pain points and frustrations, and where are the gaps that technology can plug. And then it's a case of making sure that you get the right support. So you're not necessarily going to know what technology exists in the market until you know, until you've got some expert input. So, you know, don't be shy. This isn't something that organizations do very often. And typically when you buy an ATS, you've got, you know, a 3 to 5 years, sometimes even longer. If you look at some of the larger public sector organizations, when they buy an ATS, they're signing a 7-year contract. So this is something that you need to be thinking about, not just what we need today, but what are we likely to need as the business grows and evolves over time. So it's about thinking about our requirements, pain points, what technology out there is going to solve those specific pain points, what are our business objectives over the next 3 to 5 years, for example, and what specific software is going to help us to meet those objectives. And the last thing that I would say on this as well is that you're not just buying a piece of software, right? You need to also understand that when you start working with an ATS provider, they are someone that you're going to be working with and interacting with on a really regular basis. Pick a solution provider that really understands your business, the challenges that you face, and someone that's going to really give you the support when you need it to make those changes within the solution, because that is really important. You know, if you're reconfiguring a solution to solve specific process changes, you need to make sure that you're working with people that understand your business, what you're doing, what your goals and objectives are. Try and work really closely with these people, because it's, you know, sometimes you need to really be thinking about not just software, but also the partnership elements of this as well. And you know, do they have the right resources? Are they providing the right level of support? And so on. I think that's good advice.
Oh, that's a brilliant advice. That's brilliant, because again, it's an investment, right? It's not just, you're not just investing in a piece of technology, you have to invest in the people and the support you're going to get with it. So
exactly. Yeah. And I hope that was helpful.
That was so helpful. Like, people are going to find so much insights from this. So thank you so much, Rob, for joining us. It's an incredible, insightful session. And yeah, thank you for your time.
I really appreciate you having me on. Thanks again. And yeah, we'll talk again soon.